Hi YouTube, this is just a video showing off my PlayStation 2 collection. About a week or two ago I purchased my 100th PlayStation 2 game, and I thought it would be cool just to make a video showing them off. Gonna take a couple of videos. Don't really know how much, so I'm gonna try to get this going so I can at least get a row in, which would be about 19 games. So let's get started. The first PlayStation 2 game I ever got was Yu-Gi-Oh! The Duelist of the Roses. I got this with my PlayStation 2 on my birthday in 2003. So I've been collecting PlayStation 2 games for 7 years. Wow. That's been a while, but just kind of shocked me for a second that it's been 7 years. It took me 7 years to do that. So I actually had a choice between this and Kingdom Hearts, and I decided to go with this because at the time I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh! Looks like you got 3 game cards. I have no idea where these are. I used to be into the card game a little, but I never actually played it with anyone. This game was kind of cool. You can get it for about, little rows on the disc, I think for about a couple of bucks. But I don't know. It's not the card game. It's some chess thing. I don't know. You do something. You can play between him and him, and you try to beat him. And you just go around playing a bunch of this board game or something, and I guess that's what you do. I haven't beaten it yet. I got really far to the final boss with him, and I just kind of stopped after that, because I don't think my thing was really strong enough. My deck, or whatever it's called, was really good enough to beat him. Next game I got was on July 3rd, and it was Dance Dance Revolution Max. When I first got my PlayStation 2 on my birthday, a friend of mine brought over Konamix on the PlayStation, and we played it. And that was what started my Dance Dance Revolution craze. I was really into it for a couple of years in high school, and would go down to the arcade and play it. I actually own a metal dance pad somewhere in this room. Really liked it. This is pretty good, I guess. My favorite one was Max, the arcade one. Haven't played DDR in a few years, but I wouldn't mind going to the arcade to do it, to play around with it. Next game I got in about September was DDR Max 2. Got it on launch date. This is my favorite one. Maybe not the American version, since it has all those different songs, but yeah, I do like the arcade version a lot. As you can see, they keep on adding games to the back case, or the back instruction manual. Little orange theme going here. Next game I got probably like a month or so afterwards is Karaoke Revolution. This was a hit with my friends and I for the longest time. I got this with the microphone set. I remember seeing it. I got an email. As you can see, it's like a little record disc. You can see the lines. I got this, so look, DDR. I got an email from them, and I was like, oh god, they'll add Revolution to the end of anything. But then I kind of found out a couple of years later that there's actually a huge following of this in Japan, and it's actually nothing like the American version at all. It's actually completely different. The American version has these wacky little characters on them, but the Japanese ones are more karaoke based instead of this one. Next game I got in Probably October maybe, was Kingdom Hearts Greatest Hits. I was at Best Buy, and my dad was really interested in Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy X, those kind of things when I got my PS2, which was kind of interesting because he doesn't really care much for console-based games at all. Really into computer games, mostly. Didn't even really want us having consoles, because he thought they were kind of a waste of money. But when the PlayStation 2 came out, I guess he didn't know that games have evolved as much as they did from the Genesis days, so he was really surprised that it had graphics like this, and that it was as interesting as it was. So I finally got it. Didn't take too many games to get it. Kind of disappointed that it's Greatest Hits version, because it doesn't have like the holographic shiny case here like the other one did. But I did beat this game a while ago, and I thought it was okay. This was actually the reason I wanted a PlayStation 2 besides the DVD playback. I used to be a huge, when I was younger, Nintendo little fan, and I didn't really want to have anything to do with Sony PlayStation at all. But then I saw this on a TV randomly on the Disney Channel. They were promoting it in like a little scene, and I thought that it looked really cool. Mind you, I was coming from like a Game Boy Color thing. I had an N64, but I really only played like Pokemon Stadium on it and stuff, and I didn't really know much about the PlayStation RPG thing. I was pretty much into the Genesis. I had a Genesis pretty much for a long time, and Shining Force was all I was playing. So I mean, when I rented this before, and I was like, oh my god, I was actually amazed that they had voices. I had no idea that they could talk, and it was just, it blew my mind at the time that the graphics looked like it did, and that, but I guess if you're used to playing Shining Force 2 for so many years, and you haven't really played 3D games, like on the PlayStation and whatnot, you would be quite surprised. Next game I got on Christmas was the Japanese Dance Dance Revolution Extreme. Had to get a Magic Slide, which I have somewhere. Really liked it. This is absolutely amazing. It's actually, the disc is really cool. You can't really see it, but all the lines on here, all the thing like the PlayStation and the logo and the PlayStation mark and all these lines here are raised a bit, so when you put your finger over it, you can feel it all. I don't know what that's called, but it's raised. It's really cool. The manual is really like paper thin. I don't know what it is, but it's like, it isn't as heavy as the American manuals are. It's really, really thin. I don't know if that's a Japanese thing. But they do tell you how to take the disc out and how to put the memory card in, so that's pretty cool. This game has to be the best console release of a DDR game. It has pretty much all the new songs from the arcade release on it, and I can't read Japanese worth shit, but the stuff on here was really, really, there's so many songs on here. So, definitely cool. If you're a DDR fan on PlayStation 2, I would recommend getting the Japanese release of this. Next game, probably the only one I have time to show, is I got this in January, like a late Christmas gift. It's Karaoke Revolution, the Japanese version. And as you can tell from here and here, it says anime song. So it's actually a bunch of anime songs. Another thing that's really interesting is that all the Karaoke Revolution games in Japan were online for the PlayStation 2. Which was really cool. One of the downfalls of importing this is that I could not get any of my USB-based microphones to work on it, and which was a pain in the butt. So I actually had to purchase the Japanese microphone, which was about $60. It was really big, but it's really nice quality. This is actually it right here. It's a little on-off switch. And this is actually, it has like a little thing here for you to input another microphone in. This is really, really cool because it's pretty much, the weight of it is extremely heavy compared to, say, the Konami one released in Japan, here, which is really plasticky. This one is like an honest-to-God real microphone. It's pretty heavy, it's really big, so Ending this up now, show you